Hi. Just a couple of gals
Having a chat.
having a chat.
I did say this to you before, but thank you so much for doing this.
No, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
To tell my little story.
And I feel like I obviously knew at this project sharing my own story had to be the first step. I didn't feel like I could start this without being honest about what I went through.
Yeah. It's not easy.
But I couldn't think of a better second person. Do you know what I mean? That I could just be like, again, because I didn't want the next person also to be something pregnancy related, because even though that was part of my story, my vision for this is so much bigger than that. It's like,
of course.
it's more about the power of stories in general. And I found, I don't know if you found this as well, when you're going through something like that and it gets to a point that maybe you run into someone that's like an acquaintance, and then you're like, do I tell them or do I not tell them?
Yeah.
Do I pretend like nothing's happening, or do I be honest about what I'm going through? And I really battled with that at one point. I was like, I mean, at the very beginning, I found it so painful to try and speak about it. Like, I couldn't even say the words. I had to just hibernate and just lick my little wounds. I couldn't even, the thought of even trying to say the words was so painful. But then like, at a different point in the journey, you start seeing people and people are saying, oh, I haven't seen you all year. Like, how are you? And you're like,
I've just been in a hole of like processing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I kind of battled with that. But then once I kind of decided, you know what, I am going to tell a few people. Now, I don't think you should go and tell every single person you come across, but I kind of did tell a few, like kind of acquaintances and stuff. And I was so blown away by, one, the support, the compassion, the empathy. It actually gave me strength.
Yeah.
Getting that from, particularly the women. I feel like it's women's superpower, their ability to be empathetic and compassionate to people.
Yeah.
And even if they had not gone through anything similar, they were still able to give me that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that opened up was like loads of people started telling me their stories, and it just made this like space of like, oh, I really was like, oh my God, I shouldn't tell people. And then I was like, wait, this is actually really beautiful.
Why shouldn't I? Yeah.
And healing. Yeah. And so in a roundabout way, it kind of came to me writing was like a separate thing. But I just think that whole idea of sharing stories and hearing other people's stories all can be so healing and so helpful. And like to know, oh, I'm not going through this alone. There's other people who are going through either something totally different or something similar.
Yeah.
I think is so helpful.
Yeah.
Well, it helped me anyway, and I'm hoping it can help other people.
Yeah.
But did you have the same thing of, should I tell people or not?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was, people kind of asked, and I'm only just back from that festival that I go to every year with people that I see and have seen for many years. And it was like, how's your year? I wasn't there last year, obviously, with everything that happened. And it's like, how are you? And I was like, how do you tell? Like, this has been such a huge thing that has happened. But you don't want to then start being like, oh, yeah, I had this and this happened and this happened. Like, because it's just, you can't really tell one part of it without telling the whole story. And then when people say, how are you? They don't expect to be sitting listening like 20 minutes later to be like, oh, and then this happened. And then
Yeah.
So it's just kind of easier like, to just say, fine. Yeah. Nothing happened.
Yeah, like totally fine. But also sometimes then when you like try and condense it down into 3 sentences, it almost is comical to be like, oh,
long story short.
Yeah, I just got cancer, but I'm okay. Like,
yeah.
And you're like, wait, what?
And I have done that just out of like awkwardness almost, to be like, yeah, this happened and now I have 1 kidney. So, no, I totally hear what you're saying.
And I had that a few times as well. And I've actually
just been through the most earth-shattering traumatic experience.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah, and I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
Yeah, I'm fine now. I wasn't, but I'm fine now.
Yeah. And then like 5 minutes later, I'm like,
yeah. That's fair. Yours was incredibly traumatic.
That's yours though.
It was. Mine was probably a lot more controlled in terms of the experience that I had with the health, like with the, I suppose, health industry, like, or the hospital and all the medical stuff. And I was home. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah. Anyway, we didn't even say what
Why I'm here.
like. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you were diagnosed with kidney cancer
That's
last
right.
year.
Yes, yeah.
And I was kind of thinking about this because I feel like when I think of cancer, I think of like young kids having cancer. That's like so heartbreaking and tragic. And then I think of really old people having cancer. And for some reason in my brain, which is totally wrong, there's like the whole middle section. There's like, people just don't
Every
get cancer.
now and then, yeah.
And I don't know whether it's because when it's someone really, really young, it's so heartbreaking and unjust. There's a lot of awareness around it because like, what do you mean a 6-year-old has cancer?
I know, yeah.
And then I feel like on the other end, because we all know we're going to get old, it's like this could happen to you. So I think that's why it's in the psyche of older people. Everyone knows someone who got cancer and died when they're older.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
I think people kind of take it as a given nowadays with everything.
Yeah.
You know?
But nobody really thinks of all, and there must be thousands, millions of all those people in the middle that get cancer, and for some reason it's not that, I mean, maybe that's not the right word, but like there's not just that like awareness about it. Well, personally for me there wasn't anyway.
No, me too. Like, me too. But as well, I think there seems to be a bit of and I felt this even myself when I was like, is this my fault? Like, have I done something? Maybe I used to smoke. I smoked for like, since I was probably about 19. I, drink a lot. I go out, I was like, maybe this is like the result of me, partying too hard in my 20s or my teen, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think there probably is a little bit of, and if you get it young, it's like, okay, well, they lived a certain way or they had a certain lifestyle. I don't have that, so I'm safe, kind of thing. And I certainly felt maybe that I had done something wrong. Now, I will be honest, smoking is a risk factor for kidney cancer, right? So, I mean, even though I'm only,
is it actually?
100%,
Oh, I didn't know
100%.
that.
And I said that to my urologist after all of this. I was like, how can I make sure that this doesn't come back? Because I don't know what caused it. I don't know if it was a gene mutation. I don't know if it was lifestyle related, how can I make sure? And he was like, there isn't really anything you can do. There's no kidney diet that you have to follow. Like, stay hydrated, keep your blood pressure down. But he was like, smoking. So your lungs and your kidneys are similar tissue. I think it's the same with like cervical cancer, because your cervix and your lungs are the same kind of tissue. So that's why they are so closely correlated.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How did I not know that?
I didn't either until I kind of,
I know.
until I had to.
And it's the same with what happened to me. I didn't know anything about ectopic pregnancies, and then it happens to you, and now I'm like, I could write a book.
Yeah.
What I know.
100%.
So let's.
But as well, sorry, just on the age thing. So when I actually got my kidney out, next to me in the bed, so the day that I was getting my procedure, there was 3 people doing the same thing, and the second person was a girl my age, and she had it on her right side. She had kidney cancer on her right side and was getting her kidney out.
Wow.
Like, how crazy is that? Same age. Mad. So it's not as uncommon as I would have thought. But there you go.
Jenny Mac. So let's go back to before this happened. How did it begin? Like, what happened that you were like, oh, something's wrong? Or because like I'm terrible for like, unless it's hanging off and gushing blood, I try not to take painkillers. I don't ever go to the doctor unless I'm that person that 20 people has to say, you should go to the doctor. Yeah, you should
probably go.
And I don't know why, but I'm like, unless it's hanging off, I'm fine. But that's not a good way to be, because sometimes it can be like subtle enough and you want to catch it early. So you should go check early, where I'm the opposite. I'm doing the wrong thing here. I'm waiting until it's too late and then I'm going to check. And they're like, why didn't you come 6 months ago?
And I wonder if that's an Irish thing.
Oh, it definitely
is. Well, like I'm not like that.
Oh, thank God you
the
aren't.
reason why is because I had massive health anxiety when I first moved home from Australia in 2020. I don't know where this came from, but it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, I was convinced that I was dying and something was wrong and I just needed to find it. So in the space of like a year, I had like so many blood tests. I'll answer your first question, but this is, it all ties back.
Yeah, no, bring it
So
back. Bring it
I
back.
throughout this period when I was getting, like, I had like a shoulder MRI because I had really bad pain, and from there then I got diagnosed with this very benign blood condition that my mom has, and it just means basically your red blood cells, the shape of them, they break down quicker, and it just means your spleen can be enlarged. So my mom had her spleen out when she was about my age. It's not a you can live without a spleen. So when I first started feeling like, oh, something's up, I thought it was my spleen because I have that blood condition. And also I think when I had that really bad health anxiety, I got a really good sense of what's normal for me. Like, what's my baseline in terms of my bloods? What's my baseline in terms of this? Like, what's normal for me and what's not? And I knew that was not normal. I was lying back in my house on my couch, and I thought I'd eaten too much, but I was like,
Food baby.
yeah, fair. It happens. And I just felt it was like as if something was caught behind my ribcage. That was the sensation. It was like a pressure. It wasn't painful or anything. It wasn't tender, but it was just a pressure. And I just assumed it was my spleen. I was like, my spleen probably needs to come out. I see a hematologist about it like once a year. I was like, I'll mention it to him in July. But then
And
it was all there.
when was this? So,
It would have been probably kind of early last year.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so even at then you're like July, so like few months
fine.
down the road.
Well, so I'm very lucky. I have health insurance through work. So I went to a doctor about this, one of the virtual ones, and was saying, like, I think I need to get a scan or something. And he was like, if this has only just become a thing, it's no point doing imaging now, which is fair. He's like, it's unlikely to be anything serious, which is also fair. I know, in the grand, but no one could have ever known.
No.
It turned out to be what it was. He was like, come back in like 2 weeks if you're, still have symptoms, which I did. I went back, and see, this
So
is
you
what I
just
mean.
had
I'm
this-
like, no,
yeah.
I will follow up
So
on
you
this.
had this pressure this whole 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like it just didn't go away.
It didn't go away.
Right, okay.
Went to another online doctor that you get through your health insurance. And she said, I can't refer you for a scan because I haven't examined you. She was like, if you do want to do a scan, you'll have to actually go to, that was the size of that fly.
Get out
Yeesh.
of here.
So she said, I can't refer you for a scan, but I can refer you for bloods, and we'll just get a sense of what's going on. It's a good kind of indicator. So and my friend Hannah actually did the bloods. She works in Beaumont, and she did them for me. And she was like, even she was going through the page, she was like, Jesus, like, this woman has requested like
Everything.
Amazing. There was like 12 pages of data of of me, and I was like, happy days again, like the health anxiety kicked in. I was like, oh, yeah, great. But everything was fine. So I was like, okay, no big deal. I'll be seeing the hematologist kind of in sometime during the year, and I'll mention it to him then. And then I had exams and stuff at college.
Well, how could everything be fine?
My kidney function was fine. So that's another bizarre thing. Bodies are mad, like they're actually mad. But my kidney function is now better since I got the left one removed. So when I got diagnosed, they said, so you'll have to have it taken out, and we'll refer you then to like a kidney expert who'll just make sure that I'm keeping, like, that the right one is still working and functioning, and kind of give you, like, measure your blood pressure. Your blood pressure is like being too high. That's so bad for your kidneys. It puts massive strain on your kidneys. And but I didn't need it, because when I left hospital, my kidney function was better than it was. And then when I went back for, I think it was however many months later, I had to go back for another scan, it was better again. Like, crazy. So
Wow.
so yeah, I thought everything was fine.
So what should have showed up? Cause your kidney, just say, like, if the kidney function wasn't good, what should have flagged in the bloods? Do you know?
No.
But something should have
really know.
shown off.
I knew no one with kidney cancer before all of this, and now I know something like 8 people who have had the same thing. Like, it's crazy.
Wow.
And how they've found out is one had pain and got a scan, and it was kind of found that way. Another was she went for like she was in work and had these people come in, and they do like health checks sometimes, and they like took her blood pressure, and her blood pressure was through the roof, to the point where they were like, we can't, like, we actually need to explore this further, like it's so high. And that was how she got found. So I don't know if there would have been anything in my bloods necessarily that would have indicated, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I think blood pressure is my understanding. I know there was one person who was found out because of that. Yeah, that's terrifying. Like that is terrifying.
Yeah. But the fact that they did that, and it's like, oh no, everything's functioning normal, and you had cancer. That's insane.
Yeah, I think because of the type as well that I had, like my friend Hannah, she had cancer as well, and how hers was found was, well, sorry, I mean, she had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, so she had a massive lump in her neck, but what was the kicker was her tumor markers were very high, but my tumor markers were fine in my bloods. So, and I had a 6.5 centimeter tumor all the time or something. Yeah,
that's
crazy.
So insane.
Crazy.
Okay, so the bloods came back fine. What was the next step?
So then I had exams. The bloods kind of gave me a lot of comfort that, you know, everything was fine, and it was most likely just my spleen. I needed to probably have it taken out at some point. And then after my exams, I had blood in my pee. And that was when I was like,
And the pain was still there?
It wasn't pain. It was just
or
this
just
weird
the pressure.
Yeah, if I like kind of stepped back a certain way, I could feel it like against my rib cage. So yeah, and then
so that was still there,
yeah.
And then the blood started.
Yeah, but just once, the tiniest little bit. And I had, this always like makes me laugh. I don't know, bit dark maybe, but I had just been to like a boxercise class, and we had like these like slam balls where you just like throw them down. I googled obviously blood in my pee, and it came up like, you know, it warrants further investigation, but it could be like after like really intense exercise. And I was like, I've just done 40 minutes of boxing. That checks out, you know, that way. Like, no, that's not what that means. It means as in like if you've done a marathon or a triathlon, you know,
like
sometimes
not
a 40 minutes of like boxercise, doing a few squats, like. So
That's so fun.
I know. And then so I went to the doctor then and was like, look, this is what's going on. I've had bloods, everything's come back fine. I have potentially an enlarged spleen because I have this blood condition. And he did examine me then. He was like, I can't feel anything, but if you want to be sent for a scan, I'll send you for a scan. Got the ultrasound. And when I was in there, obviously you've had ultrasounds as well yourself, but if you go to get an ultrasound on like a body part or like for, you know, something, usually they don't say anything. They just do the scan, and then they're like, you'll get the results, you know, in a couple of weeks. But this woman was like, do you have difficulty going to the bathroom? And I was like, no. And then she left the room.
Oh no.
And I was like,
it's the worst.
Come back, please. I was like, what's happened? Like, you know, and I knew. I was like, because I've had ultrasounds on like, you know, body parts or whatever, and that's never happened. So I was like, something is wrong.
Yeah.
And then they were like, you'll get the results in 2 weeks. Again, 4 weeks went past. I kind of forgot about it, and then I felt it again. I was like, I need to follow up on those results, and rang the doctor, who was like, oh, we haven't got them. The hospital was like, we've sent them. So there was like that sort of crossover. And anyway, they sent them again, and about 20 minutes later, this poor doctor rang me and was like, you have a 7.2 centimeter solid mass on your left kidney. It actually, and I will say, it was actually...
And this was on the phone?
On the phone, yeah. I was like, sorry? Go again? It turned out it was actually smaller when they did the CT, which is good, because if it goes over 7 centimeters, apparently that means it's stage 2, regardless of whether it's spread.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so the stages are the size of it?
The stages are where it's spread to, but if it goes over 7 centimeters,
it's automatically.
It's stage 2, even if it hasn't spread anywhere. So that would have been a very different, potentially, treatment.
Yeah, and so then he's like, you have a mass. Yeah. And are you like, what do you mean? What does that mean?
No, I
barely,
I was like, oh, I was like, that's big. And he was like your kidney, I think, is about 10 centimeters. So like 7.2 is massive.
Yeah.
And and then he, like, I could tell on the phone, he was like, I was like, oh, that's quite big. He was like, yeah. And I was like, I wasn't expecting that. And he was like, no, neither was I. So he then was like, so we'll send you for an MRI and to a urologist. Yeah, it's a mad story. And then even from there, when I went and when I saw the urologist, lovely man, incredible man, and the MRI came back that it wasn't fully solid. There was like cysts in this tumor. And he was saying to me, he was like, anytime that you see like fat cells on a scan, they were able to tell apparently from the MRI that it was like fat cells in this tumor.
Whoa.
And he was like, anytime you see that in a tumor, like it's a good sign. So I was like, okay,
all
right, this is good.
I don't know why, but thank you.
Yeah, I was like,
that's
okay,
great.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know. And then when we got the CT back, he was like,
so sorry, is a urologist, is that a kidney specialist?
It's
or like
your
all
entire,
of the...
your entire, yeah. I mean,
okay, like bladder and everything.
Yeah.
Urinary tract.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, your entire waste system, I guess.
So you had the MRI and then went, or like he did your MRI?
No, so I got that done through the health insurance. Again, thankfully, I had that. I'm so lucky. And then I got a CT. But once I saw him, he was like, okay, do everything now through Beaumont so that I have access. Because I was doing my scans with the health insurance. So I had to like get them emailed over. And he was like, it's just messy. Easier if there's just a lot of room for
something going missing.
Like the scans going missing or, not getting the results. So,
but at this stage, are you like, I have cancer?
No.
So it's just like a mass.
It's a mass. Yeah. And then
I hate that word.
Yeah.
Because they are also calling what I had a mass.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
They went back, it was a cyst, then it was a mass, then it was a cyst. It was miscarriage, ectopic. Oh no, it's just a miscarriage. And like all this back and forth. But no one really, they only called it an ectopic maybe twice.
Okay.
And every other time it's a mass. And I'm like,
is that meant to like help you not associate it as being a child? Like, does that, or like embryo? Or
well, I think to cover them, they call it a mass because without opening you up and looking, they're not sure.
Oh.
I think now that could be me messing that up, but because even with a different thing, it's like they didn't know whether there was like fluid. Oh, I can't remember the term that they use for it, but
I remember you said that was because you were in Sri Lanka at the time, so were they using kind of like
no, but it's the same. It's the same terminology, and it happened when I came back. But it's like they have like a vague term for things because they don't want to say 100% it's this, and then if it turns out not to be that, they're in the wrong. So they have like a vague term like mass. That could be a cyst. It could be an ectopic.
It covers all.
They're like
bases.
There's something there.
Yeah.
Which is just wild.
Yeah.
And now they're saying the same thing to you.
Yeah. Well, now, I suppose a tumor as well is probably quite scary.
Yeah. So like. So they're using the word
lesion. Lesion was the words that they used. Yeah.
Well, what's a lesion? Like a growth.
I thought a lesion was like, because I remember reading the scan. I'm a stickler for medical
all the details.
data. I was like, can you send me a copy of that scan? And when I got all these scans through my health insurance, I was able to get a copy of them. But when I was in Beaumont, they were like,
no, you
can get a copy of this, but this is the property of the hospital now. So you'd have to do a data request. Like when it actually came back after my kidney was taken out and they did, they actually cut open the tumor and did all the whatever they did on it. The doctor was reading it out and I was like, can I get a copy of that? And he was just like, no. He was like, well, of course you can, but like it's a different, I'm not just going to give you this or whatever.
Oh my God, that's so
Which is
funny.
probably just as well, because I went like straight into, I know AI people have their thoughts on it, but I went straight to ChatGPT and was
no, me too.
So we were like typing in all this information and even ChatGPT was like, this does not sound right.
Yeah, uh-oh.
Oh my God.
It's normally so optimistic.
Usually it's like, don't worry, girl, you've got this. No big deal.
First
Take a
time
breath.
ever, it's like, go to the hospital.
Yeah.
No, the exact same thing with me.
Yes.
I was thinking, thank God for ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Because if this had happened in Sri Lanka, when you're just like trying to Google things and like even just knowing what to ask for, what type of blood test, like someone would have had to write a blog about that.
Yeah, for
it
sure.
to show up on Google. Like,
And then you have to read the blog and
where
while being
ChatGPT
frantic.
was like pulling from medical, like,
Yeah,
this is what
journals.
the UK, it's like standard procedure for like operating is, and was like pulling in stuff that like you would just, where would you even look that up?
No,
You know,
how would you
so
even know what you're looking for?
no, I felt the exact same. Like, God.
I think it's
God,
good though,
for ChatGPT.
especially if you're in like, you know, this hit you out of absolutely nowhere. You were still riding high from your engagement. Like, so it's good that you are able to kind of have this information just to even start to make sense. Like, as you say, now you're pro in this sort of terminology, but at the start you weren't.
No.
So how do you even know what you're looking for? So
how do you even know what to ask
yeah, you can
for,
type in, it doesn't matter how stupid the question is, you can type it in, but it's good to give you that sense of control and that you understand what's happening when in an environment that you probably wouldn't have had that understanding before.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is, it's not medical professionals' fault, because they're just so used to the terminology and the jargon that they speak to you like you know what it all means. And if I hadn't had like my pre-chats with ChatGPT to be like, if it's this, what does it mean? If it's this, what does it mean? And being able to spend that hour being like, okay, I don't understand what you mean there. What, like, can you, you know, like, where like you can't take up that much of the doctor's time. They can't give you a 3-hour briefing.
Yeah.
So, but they're just expecting you to kind of know exactly what they're talking about. It meant that when I was in that situation and they were giving me the information, I knew exactly what they were saying.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't otherwise, like, and it was already overwhelming. It was already like almost too much to process. So I can't imagine not having the pre-chat, and
100%,
then
yeah.
I would have been like incapable of making a decision or doing anything, because I just would have been like overcome.
Don't know all the details.
Yeah, or like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like, yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I get that.
So, sorry, we have your scan, your MRI.
Oh, yeah.
We have the urologist.
So I found out, actually, I suppose, kind of very early on, when they didn't know what it was, because I think this scan that came back showing like cysts and stuff kind of threw them a little bit. Maybe not. But after I got an MRI, it was either it was a CT actually. Sorry, I got the ultrasound, then the MRI, and then a CT. But I got a CT on my chest then as well. And the reason for that was to see if it did turn out to be cancer, had it spread anywhere. So kidney cancer, if it's going to spread, apparently, again, I feel like I'm an expert now.
Yeah.
If it is going to spread, it'll go to lungs, because it's, again, same tissue, your lymph nodes or your bones. So that's why they did.
That's where they check first.
Yeah. So that came back fine. So quite early on, like you're talking, say there was maybe 4 to 5 weeks from the first call to say you've got this on your left kidney to the CT scan to say if it is, you know, cancer, it hasn't spread anywhere. That's such a gift. Not many people get that.
Yeah.
Like I'm so lucky. So kind of from then on, it was like, okay, well, and then obviously there were chats and stuff that happened with the urologist afterwards, and he gave me a call, because they were, even after the CT, he was like, we still don't really know what it is. It doesn't, you know, it's a mass, but there's cystic characters to it. So he said what we'll do is every week, apparently they all sit down, and like the people who are like actually reading the scans sit down with the urologist, and they do this, and they just go case by case through everybody.
Wow.
So then my
I'd be
case,
like, what do you think?
What do you think? All people in a room. Like I know the Irish health system has its issues, but I gotta say, like, when you're in the system, and it I couldn't fault it, to be honest. But they all sat down, and I got a call and went through my scans, and I got a call from him. Basically, this is the urologist saying, it looks like it's a benign, very rare, there's 200 cases in the literature, like that rare, and that's what this looks like. So he was like, either way, you're going to lose the kidney just because of the size of it, and it's growing inwards. It's not growing out, it's growing in. So he was like,
Jesus.
you will lose.
How can they tell that?
I think I would assume probably just from the scans. Like if it's growing out, it'll be like there's your kidney, there's the tumor,
Oh,
but
so
it's
the
growing.
Oh, gotcha. No, sorry.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's just why
Yeah,
he
like
was,
it's not outside it,
no,
it's getting inside.
it's growing
Yeah,
in.
okay.
So he was like, either way, whether it's now or whether it's, you know, however many years down the line, it's the outcome is going to be the same.
Okay.
He was like, but we'll do a biopsy just to be 100% sure, and then we'll kind
And
of take
that
it from
is
there.
like they don't go in and take a little sample of
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
pretty much. They sorry, fix myself. They and then there was another, this story, now that I go back, like the story was mad. So he said, what we have to do is we'll have to do an ultrasound to do the biopsy because there's cysts in the tumor. So if we accidentally rupture any of the cysts and it turns out to be cancer, we could inadvertently spread it. And I was like, come again? But like they were all over it. And even the day I got the biopsy, there was a whole big question mark about whether it would even happen because they didn't know if I would actually get a bed, and it's if you don't get a bed, then you don't get the procedure, and you'll just have to be rescheduled, and it'll just come back.
Okay.
Thankfully, I got one, and when I was being wheeled down to the theatre to get the biopsy, again, this lovely man was like, I think I'd be the same as you when it comes to painkillers. I don't take anything. I get really like anxious about that, and I could see him writing on the chart like fentanyl something, and I was like, you're gonna
Excuse me?
have a question?
Yeah.
I have a question. And I was this is why I love my whole experience. Anytime I tried to spiral or like get this sort of like, huh? They'd be like, But I was like, you're giving me fentanyl, and he was like, yeah, is that okay? And I was like, isn't that like really dangerous? He was like, yeah,
One drop can kill you.
but he was like, but this is a hospital. So he was like, this is in a medical setting, like it's fine. And he said
street
to me,
smart.
I was like, you promise?
Oh my god, that's
and
so
he was
funny.
like, literally, he was like, looked at me and was like, we don't have to, like, I don't have to give it to you. He was like, but this is going to hurt. I was like, give me the fentanyl.
But like, why is it not morphine? Is that not the normal
I think
one?
it was.
Fentanyl is so extreme.
It's a really, really, like, I mean, you're talking like small little doses. I don't know. I think it's a very strong painkiller. And I think I did get, maybe not morphine, but I got something to like help me relax. Didn't feel a thing.
I'm just like imagining you being like,
That's a question.
what are you giving me?
Sorry, yeah. Where did you source this fentanyl? Yeah. Like, so funny. And then then the biopsy came back and it was cancer.
And so they
Well,
only
shit.
literally knew at that point.
Yeah, they thought it was benign. They thought it looked benign, according to, and this is not just one person, this is like a team. So
And
apparently
so-
that can happen.
How soon after the biopsy, like, so obviously you have that, how soon after do you know? And do they call you into the hospital? Do they tell you over the phone? Like, what was that actually like?
No, he called me in for the
Yes.
results of that. And
Okay.
a lot of, like, when I told, like, particularly when I told work, because I told them very early on and they were so good. They were like, yeah, scans, whatever, just go. And when I was telling my boss what it was, he was like, I kind of thought it was a bit of a bad sign if they were calling you in to give you the results. And I was like, I think they worry that people will assume that. So I was like, I had the biopsy and then I got a letter before the results were even in for an appointment. So I think for that they will
Okay.
bring it in just to like, because even if it didn't turn out to be like cancer, there would still be a plan of like,
Getting it removed
we're
anyway.
going to monitor you,
Yeah.
and then when it becomes a problem, we'll take it out. So
And so in your head, were you thinking this is all going to be fine?
Yeah.
And so he's in the office and he's like, I hate to tell you this, but you've got cancer.
Yeah.
Like, is that how he said it?
No, he was. Before we even sat down, I brought my mom with me because I
course.
hadn't brought my mom to any appointments. I hadn't brought anyone to any appointment. I didn't even tell my parents until, like, I think I'd gotten the results of the MRI and I was going for the CT, and then I told them and was like, because I didn't want to worry. You didn't want to worry anybody.
know.
You know, parents, they worry. And then for it to turn out and be nothing, do you know
Yeah,
that way?
no.
So, but then when it was kind of like, okay, this is actually
Going on.
this is continuing, and this is probably, I should probably rope them in, you know. And so yeah, when I went in, I brought my mom with me, and he was like, that kidney needs to come out, and I was like, yeah, no, that's fair. And he was like, so how's Monday week? I was like, come again? And he was like, I have a question. And he was like, I think I said it's malignant. And he was like, yeah. So then I started, I keep forgetting. This is actually really, really funny. I got really upset then straight away. I was just shocked.
I love the way you're like, this is really funny. I got so upset.
I got so upset. I was like, the world, like the back arse fell out of my world, but no big deal. No, but I was with my mom, and my mom I love her so much, but she's like typical mom, like quite high strung, like we would, and she was like, okay, so what sort of time and recovery and this, that, and the other, and I was like, she is handling this so well.
Mom mode.
But it was because he hadn't said cancer, because he said malignant, and I knew what that meant.
Okay.
And then at the end, when I was talking to him, and I was like, can I just ask, so like when I was getting the biopsy, there was a whole big thing about whether or not I'm going to get a bed and whether or not the procedure can go ahead that day. Is it going to be the same sort of thing with this, where like I'll give notice to work and then I'll rock in and I might be sent home? And he was like, no, like for cancer surgeries, they're seen as priority. So, and it's a completely different ward. My mom at the end of the appointment was like, cancer. And, and then she got upset. She was like, what cancer? I was just like, yeah, we're past this now.
This is the perfect example
the psychology of that word.
The jargon of the malignant mass versus kidney cancer.
It didn't even...
but sometimes it doesn't. The penny doesn't drop of wait, this is cancer.
Yeah, until you say those words. So, and that was her. Sorry, I feel like I'm going to wreck this. So, yeah, that was that. But he was lovely. He was like, just another day in the office, really, which I think some people probably don't like that approach, maybe think it's a bit too hands-off and maybe not sensitive enough, but I actually like that approach. I want to know the facts. I don't want to know I'm fine. I'm crying, but I will cope with this separately. I want to know the facts right now. Yeah. Don't be like rubbing my back telling me it's going to be okay. You don't know that, right? So let's just, figure it out. And, but yeah, he was like, I think my age was a big factor, like in terms of being on my side. So he was like, he's like, yeah, you'll be in hospital for a couple of days. He was like, yeah, you'll feel a bit sore, but once your like bowels wake up and your system gets moving again, he's like, you'll be surprised how quick you turn a corner. Okay. I swear to, and I said like,
and like that 2 weeks, you find out, okay, it's cancer. I have to have surgery. But you still have to wait 2 weeks. This isn't like, okay, we're getting you in tomorrow. What was that 2 weeks like? Was it relief that you finally know, or was it like the opposite where you're like, how is this cancer?
It was the opposite. It was straight up panic. Yeah, I was panicked for sure. Yeah.
I can imagine. And was it in your head, what happens if this spreads to somewhere else?
Yeah.
Yeah, all those things.
100%. Yeah.
And even telling work.
Yeah.
Be like, remember that pain?
Yeah, that kind of seemed like it was benign. It's not. Yeah. No, all the things you might think it would be like. Yeah.
And how was your mom during that time?
A basket case, God love her. She was, it was like, she had a trip to Spain booked for this, and she was like, what do I do? I was like, go to Spain. Like, why? We're not going to be sitting around, all of us moping and being like, this is the end. We just have to be as normal
as you can.
Yeah. And so Hannah as well, the girl who like kind of from the start, I think she was the first person to talk. She works in urology.
Okay, that's her like specialty.
So yeah, she works in urodynamics, and in that period from when I found out up until the surgery, every day her and my best friend Matthew texted me saying my tumor is low grade and localized. And that for me was like, okay, it's low grade. It actually turned out to not be low grade.
What does low grade mean?
Grade is how likely it is to spread. I still don't really fully understand this. So when I was doing my own sort of research and reading, it was like grade 1 and 2 is how aggressive, I guess, or how likely the cells are to replicate. And 1 or 2 is kind of low grade. Mine was grade 3. I think there's only 4 grades. 4, maybe 5. Yeah, 4 grades. So it was actually a lot higher grade than.
But they only know that after they take it out.
After they took it out, yeah. So the biopsy said low grade.
Wow.
Yeah, it said low grade
just
malignancy.
Like that particular part that they took.
I have no idea. And that's the part that I can't really, like in that week, I remember my mom was kind of checking in on me and being like, be mindful of your thoughts. Like, don't go too far down a rabbit hole. And I was like, I find thoughts are just thoughts, and I let them come and then I let them go. I don't try to make sense of them. I just say, oh, that happened and now it's gone. And I think I take that approach with everything. Like, sometimes the thought will come across and I don't try and make sense of it. I don't worry about it. I just let it pass. So I'm not afraid to like have those thoughts of like, what if this kills me? What if this does? What if they made a mistake? They thought it was benign. It wasn't benign. What if they've made a mistake and it spread somewhere else in this ends up killing me? But I think what gave me a lot of comfort was that that's a normal thought to think. If you've just gotten the news that I've got, that everyone is going to think that way. There's nothing abnormal. None of the thoughts that I had throughout that period or since were anything that I went, I probably need to check this or maybe seek counseling or, I shouldn't be thinking that way. Every thought that I had was normal.
Yeah. It was
What's going to happen to my cats if I die? Who's going to look after those two feral little fuzzballs?
Nobody will
love them the way that I love those cats.
Yeah.
They're going to have to come with me.
That's true. They are feral.
They are feral. They are not friendly cats. But there was nothing that...
That's amazing that you're having such intense thoughts. I don't think it can be that much more intense than like, what if I die in such a short time frame?
Yeah.
It's not, what if I die in 20 years when I'm older? What if I die in the next month?
Yeah. What if something goes wrong during surgery?
Yeah. But to be so at peace with, that's a really valid thought.
Yeah.
And not to have that send you off the edge.
Yeah, no, they're just thoughts. Sometimes you get thoughts, you don't have to make sense of all of them. And I know you and I think are quite different in that sense, because I love anytime that I'm talking to you and you're very in tune with your own emotions and you'll explore them a lot. Yeah. Whereas I kind of find sometimes I'm like, oh, there's a thought.
Yeah.
Off it goes, just
oh no, I am
literally
literally like, what
emotional
turmoil from when I was 10 did this come from? Yeah. What am I holding on to?
But they're valid. Both approaches I think are valid. And I think what really helped me again, sorry, I feel like I'm wrecking this, but I've always, this sounds really, really dark and bizarre, but my mom and I'm very close to my parents, and we always have this talk, I guess, if you will, of like our time together is not unlimited. Like me and my mom have always said that, like, there is gonna come a day, unfortunately, when we will have to say goodbye on this life. Maybe there's more, maybe there's somewhere else. But we know that. And so that gives us the power to just enjoy every minute, every single minute. I was up with them last night and we're just chatting about anything. Crap. Great thing, all of it, the whole suite of topics. And that's the approach that I take anywhere. That I know there will come a time. And I remember even when I got that diagnosis and was like, kind of riding the waves of getting that news. And I was like, if this does end up being my time, what a life. I've had a great time. I've had a ball. I have amazing friends. I have so much to be grateful for. I have a job that I love. I have family that are just like that. I'm getting texts every day from Hannah and Matthew being like, my tumour is low grade and localized. My tumour is low grade and localized.
Affirmations.
Every day.
There were some good friends.
What a lucky, blessed life I have. Yeah. And if now is the time that it ends, then...
Yeah. I have that approach as well. That I'm always like, I really lived.
Yeah.
And I'm only...
You lived.
Like, I'm only in my 30s,
yeah,
but I'm thinking,
you're just starting.
I really experienced...
Gave it experienced.
A lot.
Yeah.
And maybe in this materialistic world, I'm not successful in a way of like, I don't have a house, I don't have the big fancy car, I don't have any savings.
Oh God, let's not even go.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? I don't have like this 15-year career that I should be having on this ladder, like all those kind of like prescriptions of life that you're supposed to have at my age.
Yeah.
I don't have any of them, but I'm like, if I die tomorrow, what a life.
What a life, yeah.
And obviously with what I went through, there was like a moment of, there is a scenario that I actually don't make it out of this.
Yeah.
If this was in 1801, I'm gone.
Yeah.
If this was in 1900, I would have been one of those
Yeah.
fatalities of pregnancy. So the another side of it was like, thank God I'm alive today. Thank God there's these medications, these doctors, these surgeries available, and in a country that it's available for free.
Yeah.
You know, so all of that, I was very aware of, like, this could be so much worse.
Yeah.
And also, I was like, imagine there is people out there that, like, this has happened to them 3 times.
Yeah.
4 times. I don't even know how many times. Do you know what I mean? Or
100%.
And I think as well, like, part of my thing was it happened so early in the pregnancy that it made it really easy. I can't even imagine someone getting to 8 months or 9 months and then something happening. The agony.
And it happens. It's crazy.
So, like, there was so many moments for me that I was like, this is a terrible thing that's happening, but I'm also so blessed because it's happening in this way.
Yeah. Even to that point, like, when this happened and when I was first diagnosed, my brother phoned me and was saying that his wife's neighbor, like childhood neighbor, also had kidney cancer, kidney taken out. He's like, you know, well on in his life, and his was found, I think he had prostate cancer, and he was getting monitored. So I'll be monitored now for 10 years. I have to get 2 scans a year for 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And
like monitoring your kidney or just everywhere?
A CT, 2 CT scans a year for 10 years. Yeah. I mean, they said that they'll see, because CT you get exposed to radiation and stuff, so they'll figure it out as time goes on. But this man was getting monitored, and they found then he developed kidney cancer. And so they were able to treat it. They just took the kidney out. But this would have been about 10, 15 years ago. So the procedure was completely different. Like, you've seen my scar.
Tiny.
You would not even know.
No.
There's like the kind of big one down the bottom where the kidney was taken out. But other than that, they're like dots. His one, he was cut open. And
Jesus.
the recovery for that is like weeks and weeks and weeks. So and I think that was only 10, 15 years ago. So even in that close period of time, and he said to my brother, he was like, tell her she's so lucky. Because it was like, his recovery was insane.
And how was your surgery? I can't even imagine that day that you wake up and you're like, today's surgery. Like, were you at home and had to go in, or you stayed the night before?
No,
or how does it work?
I was at home and I had to go in. When I tell you, I have never been so terrified in my entire life. And I saw, you have to go down and get dressed, and it's like you're getting dressed for death. Like, you're wearing, like, you know, the gown, and then you've got the socks to, like, stop.
Socks?
Yeah, you have to wear, like, compression socks, because you're going to be horizontal, like, in bed for a very long time.
Oh my God. And they give you the socks?
They give you the socks, and it's to stop blood clots. Yeah. I know.
They don't show the
Imagine
socks
that.
on TV.
Because they are horrendous. Like, they are really
Fashion
not.
police.
Yeah, they are not flattering socks. They're not like stockings. So you're like, oh, okay, am I kind of making this work? No, they are terrible. And you're literally just, you know, in a room with everyone else who's dressed the same.
Wait, you're all in the same room?
Yeah. So I went the day before.
My God.
I got a call, and again, living so close to the hospital was just every single step of this. I'm like, Jesus, wasn't that lucky? Like, just so much, incredibly blessed. But I went the day before, so they phoned and were like, oh, we need to get, I think, bloods or an ECG and all of that. So it's handy to get it out of the way now. Can you come in? And I said, yeah, 100%. I'm 20 minutes down the road. So because I was able to go first. And again, that's another thing that I'm so grateful for. I don't think I would have been able to sit like 9 a.m. on the button. I was rolled in, you know, that way. And,
but do they, as in they come in the room and they're like, Sam,
so
you're up?
To go, yeah, in you get, girl.
Is that the way they do it?
No.
I was like,
no,
Jesus.
oh my God, no. I imagine. I'd like, would that be better? I don't know. Probably not. But I went in. So you go to like day of surgery, a place. DOSA is the name of it, and you go and you get into your robes and stuff, and you get your bloods taken, and then you go into the room, and then you wait there until the team that are going to be putting you, the anaesthetic team, come out and basically just explain what they're going to do and so on. And my team, I remember looking around and being like, it's all women, and one of them was pregnant, and I was just like,
Oh, I love
come on,
that.
the girls,
Yeah.
I'm in safe hands. Not that, like, obviously, but it was just, I was like, this is great to see, like, it's at the women at the highest level that you can, like, anyway. So I was brought in, and this woman, the woman who I'd met, she was brilliant. They were very factual. I like that. I need facts. I don't ask if I'm okay. I'm not okay. Let's just get this over with.
Yeah.
And she was like, so you might feel like you've had a couple of glasses, or she said 3 glasses of wine, and I was like, girly pop, that will not touch the sides of me.
Yeah, you don't know me.
I was like, you gotta fucking ramp up, pretending you're shooting a rhino.
Yeah.
But and in fairness, within seconds, I was like, whoa, you weren't joking. And then I woke up.
No
I woke up and it was done.
way.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah, and then I was brought up to the.
And was your mom with you in the hospital?
No, so
Or they're not allowed there. Be there
again,
probably.
like this urologist, like, when you see the people that do this, I could not believe this. First of all, when I was diagnosed, I went, but I'm going to London in 2 weeks. Stupid. He was probably like, what are you talking about? No, you're not going to London. I was like, and I have a festival at the end of the month. And he was like, but he was again, so he was like, London, you're probably not going to make London. He was like, the festival, you might make the festival. And then even when he was discharging me, bear in mind, this is like a consultant urologist who's like top of his game. He was like, you have a festival coming up at the end of the month. Like, how do you even remembered that?
Wow.
And I was like, and he was like, yeah, you should be fine. Yeah, you should be fine. He was like, maybe ask one of your friends to carry your bag for you. Like, don't lift anything over 2 kilos. He was like, you could even have a couple of drinks.
No way. What a legend.
I know.
So Irish.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But so just, yeah. I forgot what we were, oh yeah. And then when I, oh yeah, sorry. So they had to go, because it was going to, like, the surgery was about 2.5 hours.
Was it that long?
And he phoned them personally when I was out to say, she's out, everything went fine.
And he did it.
He did it.
He did the surgery.
He did the surgery. And he phoned my mom to say, she's out, she's up in Damien's ward, everything went fine.
Wow.
I'm going to go cut somebody else open now, so, I gotta go. Like, incredible,
It's
man.
nice that it's the actual person.
Yeah.
That could easily have been a junior,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. No,
Um,
he phoned my mom.
And so,
that was that.
did you
So
wake
told
up in
her.
the hospital and they had to be like, oh, Sam, it's done. I can tell you.
You're in a recovery room, so there was like me, and so after I'd gotten all my like gown and stuff on, you go into a room where you're kind of just waiting, and then everyone's coming. There was a man beside me who was getting some sort of heart surgery, and I overheard the doctor, it was going to be 8 hours or something. I was like, 8 fucking hours.
Wow.
And him and his wife had come down from like somewhere up north. Like, that's just another whole, and then they had to find accommodation and all of that sort of stuff. So you're in a recovery room, and then I was still kind of a little bit spaced, but they brought me onto a trolley and then brought me up to the actual ward that I was going to be staying on for a couple of days.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did they say everything went well, went as well as could? So then what's the next step then? The surgery's done,
Yeah.
but...
Well, from there they have to actually examine the tumor and the kidney and find out, like, that's when they can officially give like the stage, the grade, and decide a treatment option.
Okay, so then what did yours come back as?
Stage 1, grade 3. I was hyper fixated on the grade.
Grade 3.
Yeah, I was like,
that's
what?
Wild.
And I was like, doesn't that mean that the chance of it coming back is higher? And he was like, ever so. He was like, there's a scale of like 1 to 10. And I think 1 and 2 is like stage 1 low grade, blah. He was like, you're at 3. He was like, so the treatment is still the same as if it was a lower grade. He was like, we focus on the stage. The staging is the important indicator of whether it's going to come back or not, or what the risks are.
Yeah. Okay. So
So-
and that one was 1. So
That was
that's
stage 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you feel after the surgery?
Like shit.
Yeah, was it terrible?
No, it was okay. Like, the first day was, it was it was fine. My parents came and they like, it was all just very calm, very quiet. Like I was obviously in and out. I, again, with the painkillers thing, I was like, I don't want to be doing this, but I was like, you need to cop on, take the fucking drugs.
Yeah.
Whatever they give you, you just need to get, because what can actually happen, and I was reading again, good old ChatGPT. It's like, how do you recover from having a kidney? But it was saying that if you don't take the painkillers and you actually are in a lot of pain, it can impede your recovery because you're not likely, like if you have something like that, you need to get up and walking, you need to get your lungs working again. Sometimes if you're put under and then you're lying down for that long, you know, you can get blood clots. The top part of your lungs apparently like comes back to life pretty much straight away because you're breathing, but the bottom half, if you're lying back, fluid can build up and you can end up getting an infection. So you need to get up and walking. So if you're in a lot of pain, you're like, oh, I don't want to, I can't.
Okay,
Whereas
so it stops you from moving when you need to move.
And you need to move. You need to get up.
Right.
So I had the first day, and like at one point, my oxygen dropped for some reason, and my blood pressure dropped. Like just happens. But both of those set off this like beep 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 beep. At the same time, then I was getting fluids. And the battery for my fluids thing, so that's monitoring, also went. Oh my God, so I had 3 machines. I was like, you know what, this isn't too bad. I was like cracking the morphine bloody thing. I was like, I think I had Golden Girls on my iPad. I was like, hell yeah. You know what? It's nice to have a bit of me time. And then beep, beep, beep. I was like, oh my God, as if I've made it through the surgery. And this is what bloody kills me. But this nurse came in and she was like, oh, yeah, okay. We'll up your fluids. That'll help the blood pressure. She was like, keep that thing on your nose. I think maybe it had shifted or something. I felt fine. I think if your blood pressure drops that low, you'll fucking know about it kind of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, she changed the battery and she was like, see you in a bit.
No way. I was like, just
thank you.
Yeah.
I can't
Press
repay
play.
you. Yeah. I was like, can you press play? So that was that. And then, but then the next day, I started to feel really nauseous from the morphine. Doesn't agree with me, Jesus.
Okay.
So, because we were like, oh, wasn't the morphine great? I was like, I felt so sick.
Wow.
So I had to get up and like have a shower, and I had my like, what's it called? Is it your catheter where you have the...
Yeah, like the little baggy thing.
Yeah. And I remember my brother came in and I was like, stop looking at my pee bag. And he was like, I'm not looking at it. I was like, I saw you looking at it.
Siblings, that is so
I know,
funny.
yeah. I was like, I'm tied up in all these wires, but I will fight you. But this lovely woman came in and, you know, she was like, grab your Gucci. So she called it.
Oh my God,
yeah, she was like, grab your
hilarious.
Gucci and come on into the shower. And I was literally sitting there and I was like, this woman could absolutely beat the crap out of me if she wanted to. She was just chatting away and she was like, I'll leave you wash yourself. You came here able to wash yourself and you'll leave here able to wash yourself. So you need to do it here. And I was like, okay. I was like, you know, just having a little pity party for myself.
Yeah.
But that was that. And then I got moved to another like all-female ward. And that's when I was put beside the girl who was the same age as me.
Okay.
Jen, I think her name was. I hope she's well if she's watching this.
Yeah.
But and yeah, that was that. And then it was like getting up and walking, because then if you get like stomach surgery, like gas can build up. Obviously they have to kind of pump you up, so that just causes huge discomfort and until you get it moving. So, and the way to kind of do that is by just having little small walks up and down the corridor.
Yeah,
just
I
get
remember
everything
we
waking
met
up.
for a coffee actually, and I can't remember exactly how long it was after your surgery, but we walked maybe like 10 minutes down from
from my apartment.
And you were so slow.
I
like
know.
God bless you. Like I could tell that like
it was a lot of pain.
When you have like a pain like that and you're like afraid to move almost,
Yeah.
I could feel that from
Rigid,
you.
yeah.
But you were up and you were moving.
Yeah, but like the next day, and they encourage it, and you have this little like blow thing that you have to, and it's meant to just help your lungs. It's the bottom of your lungs that they need to get
Like
woken
wake
up, and so that they don't get fluid.
So is that from the anaesthetic, your lungs stop?
No, I don't think they stop. It's just, I think because you're lying down and you're not really moving that much. It is it's from being put under, is my understanding. I don't really
But like,
know.
did you have one of those artificial breathers?
Oh yeah. Oh wait, no. I was getting oxygen, but I was still able to breathe, I think.
I just in my head, I just always know that with everything with the body. It's like if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
With your muscles, your bones, whatever. So I'm in my head, or like for example, testosterone. Like the people who start taking testosterone, they stop producing it because your body's like, oh, I have it. So I'm just, now this could be totally wrong, but I'm thinking if it's like an artificial breathing because you're in, you're under. Is it then when they take that away, your lungs have to like almost wake up again because they weren't
being used.
Yeah, well, like they were being used artificially.
I honestly don't know. It does
where
make
like
sense.
where the mechanism for your lungs to actually do itself could like switch off. Now that could be absolute baloney. We're gonna look that up.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up. I think, just kind of brainstorm myself, that like surely if your lungs, if you're not breathing, then you're
no. But you know, people who are in a coma, they're on that breathing thing, and it's an artificial breathing. So that's why it's called life support, because if they stop that,
then
nothing happens. Okay. Like, do they do that when you're in surgery?
I don't think so. I know you probably getting oxygen to like help you breathe. But there's a whole team, like when you go under, there's a whole team literally just monitoring the anesthetic. So I'd say they probably give you enough to like wipe you out, because I think you're getting like 2 or 3 different types.
Oh.
Is what I would assume. Again, could be talking absolute baloney. I think I probably didn't, that's probably the one bit I didn't research because I was so terrified of it. You know.
Yeah, did you ever see that movie Awake?
Oh, yes.
I don't know why I ever watched that movie.
Hayden Christensen?
Terrifying.
Yeah.
And the tears. Yeah. And then you realise, oh wait, that's real. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, no, I mean, in fairness, it's a very, very scary idea. I don't know if that would actually happen in real life, because there's like these 3 women who I was chatting to, before, like they are literally just monitoring you. And then you've got the people that are actually doing the surgery, and they're completely separate. This is what the woman was explaining to me. She was like, so we're going to be monitoring you. You're our job. That's what we're doing. The surgeon, he's got his team. They're doing their bit.
I didn't realise that. Well, that's reassuring.
Yeah. And even then when I went in, there was, and again, like the bed is like, it's as if you're preparing for death. Like I've literally never been like, oh God, it's as if I'm walking myself to my own death. It's just this very, like, I think it's like a plastic, or like, it's obviously so that they can clean up quick, but
on the mattress kind of thing.
Yeah, not even a mattress. It's just like a black bag of like, yeah. And I was like,
they're like, hop up here.
Yeah, they're like, come up you get. I was like, that one.
Oh my God,
right here.
Like, should I pick at my coffin while I'm here? Like,
yeah.
What's going on?
God.
Oh, did you hear my belly?
Oh no way.
on the mic, it's gonna be like.
Oh, would it pick it up from there?
I don't know, maybe. I'll
time for
find
lunch.
Out.
So yeah, that was that.
So
and that's that.
And that's that.
Yeah.
Well, let's just go a little bit to the post. So the surgery's happened. You've done the recovery. What was like the next milestone? Because you obviously got the information back about the grades and so forth. Yeah. But I remember there was some type of check that it was like you had to get this check, and it was the green light of it didn't come back, or it didn't spread, or there was something like that I remember. There was a moment of like, okay, it's finally like done. This is done. So what was that?
Again, this is a mad story. But so after the kidney got taken out, I had to go back. I think it was 8 weeks or something it took for them to analyze it and come up with whatever they had to come up with. From there, I'm kind of in the dark a little bit, and I try, because I couldn't get the. That's when I was like, can I get a copy of that? And they were like, because it was all very technical, and I wanted to. I do, and I kind of still do want to know how the grade was so high when it looked under so many scans and a biopsy, how it looked low grade. And I think, and I've spoken to Hannah, and I've even looked, but like, I think
she could hack the computer.
The computer. That's what I was getting at. I was like, take this hard drive and just install. No, but I think also as well, stuff like that. I haven't gone down like a rabbit hole in terms of anxiety and like focusing on that, which is bizarre, because see, if this had happened like 6 years ago when I had really bad health anxiety, I actually think I would have worked myself up into a grave. Yeah. Like I would have been so paranoid. I would have written myself off and been like, I knew it. This is a sign. this is confirmation that I was right, you know. And so I think I'm kind of in the dark from then on as to what happened in terms of grade. And I've looked up, you know, stage 1, grade 3, and that kind of does not conflict, but when I spoke to the doctor who told me it was grade 3, he was like, we go by stage. Staging is what tells us how to treat this. And I was like, if it's grade 3 and it's, you know, the chances of it maybe coming back. And he was like, he was like, if you think about it, he was like, I can send you for immunology. I can send you for all these treatments that you don't need. He's like, those treatments will be available to you in the future if you need them, potentially even better ones in the future. So there's no point in sending you when there's no reason. It's gone. We're happy that it's gone and it hasn't spread. And in 6 months' time, when you come back, so they won't do a scan. They waited 6 months to do a scan to make sure, because there's so much like fluid and inflammation from the site, and that'll take about a year. It's coming up to a year now, but
Oh, that's still there now.
that, yeah, and I can still feel it. Like if my cat's, like one of them walks across, I'm like, ugh.
No way.
Yeah, just because there's like scar tissue builds up to protect the is my understanding, and it hardens, and there's like a lot more kind of going on. Like the actual physical external wounds are fine, but internally I think there's like other stuff.
I know it takes much longer.
Yeah, and I said this to him because the urologist who I was dealing with, he was away at my first follow up. So it was another doctor who had also been in the surgery as well. He's only a young fella as well. Like, fair play to him. Like, these people, how do you have this drive to do this? And just very few thanks. You know, it's just crazy. But I was like, I can feel like a lump there. And he was like, yeah, so that's from when they cut everything open and they had to pull it really, really tight. I think it was maybe obviously where my kidney actually came out. He's like, that's what you're feeling. I was like, oh. I was like, I should stop prodding it then. And he was just like, you can prod it all you want, it's not going to open.
Okay.
I was like, okay, thank you. And so then I had a 6-month scan. And at that scan, oh God, so I couldn't get parking, and I really needed to go to the toilet. So I'm pounding the liquids to like keep myself hydrated. I constantly have, and it's in the kitchen. I constantly have, like a thing of just water and herbal teas that I'm just drinking, and so I couldn't get parking, and I was like, I fucking need to go to the toilet. Excuse me for cursing. I was like, I really need to use the bathroom. So I got it and made it to get my scan by like a minute. Got the scan, and then when I had the follow up, the doctor was like. He's like, so your bladder was so big, they want you to do the scan again.
Oh my God.
So what was happening was my bladder was so full that the fluid was actually going back up.
You didn't have time?
I didn't have time, and I didn't think it was going to be
my God,
that big a deal.
That is so funny.
So
wait, the fluid was going back up like the tube?
Going back up the tube into my kidney, and it was all swollen. My one kidney. And he was like, so they just want to make sure that, and then he showed me the picture of the scan. I was like, that's my bladder. He was like, that's your bladder. That's why they want you to do the scan again. I was like, oh my God, this size. It was like coming out to like my hips nearly. Like it was that big. I was like, Jesus.
Oh my God.
So I was like, okay, we'll do the scan again. And I could tell he was just like, I don't think it's going to, he was like, there's no sign of like any spread, but they still want you to do the scan again just to be on the safe side. And I was like, what does it mean if, like, what are they concerned about? If, you know, my bladder being that big, he's like, they just want to make sure that your bladder is draining properly. And I was like, what does it mean if it's not? And he was like, then you'll be visiting your friend Hannah very soon. She works in urodynamics, and that's what she does, helps people to like empty the bladder. And they show you how to do it manually. Yeah.
As in like squishing some area?
No, as in like a tube goes up into your bladder, direct up your urethra into your bladder, and then I don't really know how it works.
And people do that to themselves?
Yeah.
If
you have problems emptying your bladder, you manually.
Wow.
That's what Hannah does.
Wow.
Yeah,
Fair play to you, Hannah.
Fair play to Hannah. Fair play to Hannah. So, of course, I got onto her. I was like, Hannah, oh my God, this is happening. And she was like, you would not believe the amount of people. I was like, they probably should have told me before. Like, it would have taken me 2 seconds to use the bathroom. They should have said, have you emptied your bladder first? But I don't think anyone could have known just how much liquid was there.
They don't know how much you love herbal tea.
They don't know how much I need my emotional support beverages. So I went for the next one then, and it was fine. And he was like, all good.
So as in, it hasn't spread.
Hasn't spread.
Other
There's no
kidney's
evidence,
fine.
no evidence of recurrence.
Okay.
Other kidney's fine.
Amazing.
She's doing great. Her function is better now. She doesn't have lefty pulling her down.
Okay. Brilliant.
And I'll be back in October.
So October, just for the routine.
Routine, yeah.
Yeah. And now that you have one kidney, does that affect your life at all? Do you have to be conscious of anything? Like, why do we even have to? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
or have they been like, you need to make lifestyle changes, you need to be conscious of this, you need to take this medication? Is there anything?
No.
So it's just, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Like, again, the risk factors are like blood pressure. You need to keep your blood pressure down. Smoking. I love to smoke. I loved a cigarette. Nothing gave me more joy.
You loved, out of everyone I know,
loved a ciggy.
you're like the top 3 people who just
Just
adored it.
love a ciggy, and like nothing better than a glass of red wine and a cigarette on my balcony or out the front of your garden. Like, just brought me so much joy. But that had to be knocked on the head. And then, like, even I've been out before where I've been like, oh, go on, give us a drag, and it's not the same. It doesn't even. I miss smoking the way I remember smoking, not the way smoking actually is.
Yeah.
It's like I'm talking about like a partner. I'm just like. But so no, smoking is
your
just
ex-lover.
Yeah, exactly, and that's
Cigarettes.
kind of what it is. That's kind of what cigarettes were. But no, that has to get.
So that was the only kind of major thing.
Yeah, like
And
I'd
what
have
about-
a vape like on a night out, but even that's really just a gateway to stop me from smoking.
Yeah.
And I will give that up.
Okay. And did they say anything about alcohol? Because
No, that's mostly processed in your liver.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh yes, sorry, liver. Yeah. And
Yeah.
the same with like medications and stuff. A lot of them are done in the liver.
They said everything is fine, but anti-inflammatories put a lot of strain on your kidneys, so avoid.
Okay, so that would be like ibuprofen.
Yeah.
So you just have to have like paracetamol or whatever if you did need a painkiller for whatever reason.
That's right. I've also kind of then in general, I don't really take tablets anyway. Obviously, the pollen being what it is, I did look into, am I okay to take antihistamines? And some of them apparently get processed in your kidneys, so avoid. So I just use the sprays.
Okay.
I mean, a very, very small.
Yeah, so
price to
really
pay.
it's just like
Stuff like as well, like I'm only just back from that festival that I was saying, and like people are having, liquid IVs and, replenishing. So those are incredibly high in sodium, obviously.
Yeah.
I won't take those.
And you're not supposed to.
I mean, I think you can, if your kidney function is fine, then yes, you can, but I just won't.
I take one of them every day.
I
I wonder
love
if that's
a
a
sup.
problem.
Sups were my life. I love doing my research on my little sups. I used to have my green juice with like my coconut water, which is very high in potassium. Apparently can put pressure on your kidneys.
Okay.
But yeah, that's really it.
So really you just have to be a little bit more cautious
Overall
when you are
lifestyle,
taking
yeah.
stuff. But in general, apart from the smoking,
Blood pressure. Keep your blood pressure down.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think in general, like that's exercise, eat well, don't eat shite all the time.
yes.
Just general looking after yourself, I guess.
Yeah. Wow, what a story.
I know.
It's wild.
Like, what even was that?
Yeah, so this was all last year. When was that all clear scan?
March.
March of
It would
this
have been,
year.
yeah, because I had the 6-month follow-up one was January, it would have been, and then I had to get obviously another one to because of the bladder
Okay, yeah.
fiasco, and that was a couple of weeks later. So yeah, probably March.
Okay. And has the whole experience changed how you view your life when you look forward? Like, what has that experience done for you of like your everyday, or has it not at all?
I wish I could say some profound, like, yeah, I have a brand new lease of life, a thirst for life. I think as well, because this all happened during the summer, and then in September I started my final year of college. I was in college part-time. Well, it was finished now. But like, I kind of didn't really have time to think about it that much. And, like I said before, like I always did have a sort of outlook of none of this is permanent. That's what makes it so beautiful. If we lived forever, could you imagine how boring it would be? Like, the fact that this is all temporary is terrifying, but there's beauty in that. And I think that was always my outlook anyway, thanks to my mom, you know, who's very much, we need to remember that our time together isn't infinite, which makes every moment so special. So I had that outlook anyway. I think I just...
But how great is it to see that outlook in practice?
Yeah, in a crisis.
In a crisis, yeah. And then like for you to be able
Yeah.
to be like that during that,
Yeah.
it's just incredible.
I think the one thing that I have taken from this whole thing, and like the amount of people, obviously the first thing people ask is, how did you find it? Because it's so,
yes,
it could have been missed, and there were so many opportunities for that to be missed, particularly when it came to, and I remember telling my mom about the thing with the ultrasound, like the first kind of indication something was wrong, where the hospital had sent the results, but the GP never got them, and they never chased. But I chased, and my mom was like, I would have thought that if you don't hear back,
would have been fine.
Then it's fine. And I was like, no, you have to follow up. Like, you have to, no one's going to do it for you because they're busy. Everyone is like, you know.
There's a million cases.
100%. It's all administrative. I work in administration. Things happen and it's nobody's fault, but the consequences of it being missed are just too high. The stakes are just, it's just too much. So,
yeah.
You know, and even with like blood tests and stuff, like following up and, you know, with scans, I was supposed to get a scan before my appointment, and then I was onto the hospital being like, I have an appointment in like 3 weeks. I need to have this scan like soon so that the urologist will have the results when I go back. There's no point in sitting there and being like, so you're here for a follow-up, but I've no scans, you know, I've no results. So stuff like that where you have
You're
to
very proactive.
chase, and yeah, you have to be proactive. And I think that's one thing that I've really, anyone who's asked me about this, drilled in to be like, you need to know your baselines, you need to know what's normal for you, because that was also the first indication that something was wrong. I know what's normal for me, I know what my body feels like, and this was not normal.
Yeah.
So I think that's important, but I think everyone should be like that anyway.
Yeah. And also just, I think that's amazing because there can be such, it's an Irish thing.
100%.
And it's also a woman thing.
I agree.
I suppose like the social perceiving of like a woman who's too outspoken, too loud is narky or bossy or whatever. And it's like, so I think a lot of the time women, and especially maybe Irish women, do that self-center where it's like, oh, I don't want to bother people.
Yeah.
And it's, no, you should bother them when it's your life, it's your health.
Life, like this is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And I totally agree, and I think this whole Karen thing is just another, I hate when people use that word, because I'm like, okay, fair enough, maybe it has its origins in people who were, you know, I think there's like, you know, it has its origins and they are valid. But it's now being used as almost a way to kind of say, oh, she's such a Karen, she's such a Karen. So, well,
like
sorry,
a blanket.
Hang on a second now. If I was told that I'm getting results in 2 weeks and I don't have them, I will be following up. Like, or if, you know, there's, you know, I think there was a comedian I saw, Eilish Schlinger. I've definitely mispronounced that name, obviously, but she said that she's like, it's almost being used as a way to kind of silence women, because she's like, if I have paid my good money for something, for a service, and I don't receive that service, I will talk about it, and then you kind of get brushed with this, so she's a Karen, and it almost kind of shuts you up straight away. And I think as well as that, women, and I don't want to make it a whole, it's definitely an Irish thing why we're like, it's fine, I won't go to the doctor until like my leg is hanging off. But we're just busy. Like, I think a lot of the day-to-day tasks do fall on women, and their minds are just so full with what I need to do, and I need to, you know, even if I don't have children, but even still I'm like, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this, I need to do that. I'm just thinking of all the stuff I need to do. You don't have time to then be like, actually, I need to cut time out of my day to go to that appointment. I need to cut time out of my day to phone and follow up.
This is it, yeah.
You just forget because
and then
you're
it's
so
3
busy.
weeks later.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden this many weeks have passed and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely something that I noticed.
Yeah.
I was kind of, because I had so much health anxiety that I know how easy it is for these kind of results to go missing or go AWOL or something. Or maybe it's just my personality type where I'm just like, no, I actually don't have anything better to fucking do. So I will phone and follow up because I'm paranoid and I'm scared and I'm nervous. So I want to find out,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
No, thanks for listening. Oh my God.
If there is anybody that does see this that has just been diagnosed, or has just been like told you have cancer of whatever sort, is there anything that you'd want to say to them, or I don't know, just like a little?
It's the mental battle is, particularly if you're going like, I think I only had cancer for like a week, because I really did. Like I found out on this day, a week and a half later, the problem was gone. And that's been it. Obviously there's like the mental, like, anytime I go in for a scan, there is obviously that kind of like, what if they were wrong? Like, what if it has come back? Or what if this is just the beginning of this whole big thing? That's a mental battle. Whatever's going on there, whatever will happen in the future, that's someone else has decided that. I have to keep my head and keep thinking they're just thoughts. There's no thoughts that are happening in my head that are unusual for someone in this situation, do you know?
And also, one thing that I always think is, and I've almost had to learn, is like, just because you think something doesn't make it true.
No, exactly.
Those times that I would have a thought and then I'd be like devastated by this realization, and then it's like, you just thought that, like, that
that came out
doesn't
of nowhere.
mean anything. That's not necessarily the reality.
Yeah.
And it's, even if you were having those thoughts, oh my God, I could die, it's a possibility, but it's not the reality.
No. Is it a worry or is it a problem?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
and all these, I love all those kind of these, like, say, where it's like, maybe the version of reality that I think is going to happen isn't going to happen. And I've had, I think probably this helped as well. I've had a lot of like therapy throughout the years for anxiety, because I'm a lot better now, I think, but particularly in my kind of mid to late 20s and early 30s, I had a lot of anxiety, like crippling anxiety that just took over, and I couldn't think of anything else. And I'd have panic attacks that would last days, where I'm just going up and down, calming down, panicking, back, calming. Sorry, panicking, calm, like just over and over for hours. Like, that's how bad it got at one point. So I've had a lot of therapy to help me cope. And now, however many years on, I don't really get it anymore, or I'm able to stop it before I really lose control, and I'm able to go, they're just thoughts, before I'm like, no, this is confirmation. This is my body telling me this is what's going to happen. This is my gut reaction.
Yeah.
And then it just goes into full-blown panic. So it's definitely a mental game. But I think a lot of things are like that. You don't have to
No, absolutely.
You don't have to get diagnosed with cancer to know that, but
Yeah. Okay, amazing.
Oh, thanks for listening.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for inviting me.
Give me a cuddle.
Oh, sorry, I'm sweating. Love you.
I love you too. And that's a wrap.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. Oh